Mikey, listen. You keep falling into this spiral. Your brain moving a million miles a minute. Take a deep breath. You'll come out of this. You always do. It's imperative that you channel this energy and create. Don't let it become you. Let it guide the thing you love doing the most. It may feel like your biggest enemy, but it's also your biggest superpower. You're gonna be okay. Let it be your solace.
Well, we finally meet again, YouTube. I think last time you guys saw me was the Chambers video, minus a couple of shorts. But a lot has changed since then. It is kind of crazy how fast, like, time moves, just in general. But we are rocking, a little spoiler, you can kind of see it in the screenshots, but we are rocking Max everything. Max Melee, Max Range, Max Mage. And I'm gonna kind of do my best to explain the entire process of where I was at and how we got here. But it mostly just sums up to, you know, good luck, obviously, and meeting some pretty cool people along the way. Taking a part of the massive multiplayer online and meeting people across the world and doing content with them. But after Leagues, I essentially was in a Shadow rebuild because I was missing one axe piece, so I bought a Shadow with Virtus and went to Whisper to get the last piece. Ended up getting the Siren Staff at like 650 something, 656 almost, maybe. I can't remember the exact KC that I got the Siren Staff, but we copped it. Then I sold it, bought Max Mage and Ancestral, and then immediately went to TOA and got a 500 Fang kit, because that was one of the things I just really wanted. And then I just wanted to get better at TOA, get more consistent with it. I like pushing high invos and keeping the kill factor and completability as high as possible, because it doesn't do any good to run a 540 if you're just going to be dying 60% of the raids. You might as well, I think, in my opinion, I just enjoy having a lower invocation while still having a high completion rate. And I'm not sure if that's the general consensus or what, because I know a lot of people just want to push it up for the highest drop chance possible. But regardless, I wanted to get better, so I was just running a lot of 400s, 400 pluses to just try to get better at the content, get more consistent, get more familiar, get just overall improve. And there was one night where I was running, and this is the funniest part about grinding and just trying to get better and not looking at like money as an aspect of the game, is just I was only just running TOA just trying to get better, so I could do raids with people and not feel like a liability, and was pulling purples. And one night the chest was purple. I dropped a pause in the clan chat, opened the chest, and sure enough it was a solo Shadow. So then after that solo Shadow, I was able to sell Bofa for a T-Bow, and so I was 2 out of 3 megas with a T-Bow and a Shadow, which felt really cool. And that's when the raids with Isari started. He saw me in the midst of my rebuild after Leagues with maybe been doing a little mixed hide Zora action. But he took me to TOA. We started doing a lot of TOAs. We ended up settling on the 450 chillers, certified, tested, tried and true. And a lot of 450 chillers were done. A lot of incidents happened. We had a lot of incidents on my behalf, but you know, we live and we learn. We got better, we improved, I think. I'd like to think. But nevertheless, throughout all the incidents, he still potted with me, and I will be forever grateful for him for just getting me to pot content and to just do content get more comfortable with content, get better at the game, because he really is a goat for letting me tag along and on all of his Iron Man grinds. We ended up getting his Shadow, which was his last purple, in a pretty memorable raid. I remember that was the Baba incident, we like to call it, where I was playing on EU ping and I was just slow to the boulder dash, and he ended up getting knocked on his behind, and I don't know if he died or got gapped, but either way, he was no longer with me at Baba. And so we did that raid, and I AFK'd the first 2 school sets of P3 Warden to just get him more points, because I did not want the purple, and I was being petty, and sure enough, it was his purple. And I'll never forget that raid where he pulls that Shadow. We did so many, I think it was like 2 months at TOA, and we ended up pulling a Shadow. We ran the back-to-back, got another Shadow. And it was just, that was a crazy ass time. And looking back is very, very fond of those moments. Now, after that, he went to Tob to get his scythe, and sure enough, he let me tag along there. And after that Shadow split, I had just enough money for a scythe, so I ended up going to learn Tob with the scythe, which is kind of funny. Which I did a couple raids with a whip, so I had to go from 4-tick to 5-tick, which was an experience of itself. I may have had a lot of Zarpus incidents, where I might have been doing a little bit of gooberness in the Zarpus room with the scythe. But nevertheless, I had the scythe, and I also had set my goals for Blorva. So once I had the scythe and I didn't feel like I had excess funds, like I didn't feel like I needed to buy anything, I started on the grind for Blorva. With my path that I wanted to go was Leviathan, Bard, Duke, Whisperer was the route that I ended up going and decided on going, with Levi taking the most orbs, around 65, 70. Vard took me 4 orbs. Duke gave me like 8 to 10, and Whisper was 13, 15 probably. And I ended up copping, with Leviathan being my brick wall. I spent so much time at Leviathan, but God, that entire process was just so much fun. It was addicting. Like, I spent a lot of time dying and running back and grabbing my stuff from Leviathan, but I just would get to the bank, sad that I died, and then be like, well, I want to send another immediately. And it was just, there was never a time where I was just like down on myself, and I get down on myself a lot, but there was never a time during that grind where I was like, damn, I'm just not good enough, or I can't do it, or just getting super demoralizing. I always enjoyed that process and was just so excited to do more. We copped the scythe, we copped Blorva, so the only thing to do was just to send 1,000,000 Tobs for Isari's scythe. In that time, some drama developed due to my string of luck. We did trios, which I ended up going, I went from like 0 KC to 600 within like 2 months. And it was crazy. A lot of Tob was done. In that time, in those trios, I ended up pulling a scythe. At that time, it was still blissful. We had Yama's release on the horizon, and scythe was up 1.8 bill. And so it was a big win. The tides changed when the second one was pulled. That was when all hell broke loose. Nothing bad happened. I just like to be funny. Now we're here. You've kind of caught up. Which my main goal is to greenlog the Fortis Coliseum combat achievements. I really am gonna try to not overthink it and just document my process through these last 100 or so combat achievements, and upload them to YouTube so you guys can get a part of the journey. Hopefully. But yeah. Hopefully, you guys will get more often uploads and I stop being a Taterhead McChungus. But, who knows? People say that when they visit Taterville McChungus, that I'm the mayor. So, might be bad news. Let's fucking go. Till next time.